a deadly fire is out on Chicago's south side. However, firefighters remain on the scene now, checking for hot spots. The extra alarm fire was reported late this morning in Kenwood. One person has died and 6 others were treated at area hospitals.
We have live team coverage with Dane Placco and Nate Rogers on the south side. Let's start with Dane, first at 4.
Yeah, at one point there were 300 Chicago firefighters and about 85 pieces of firefighting equipment here on the scene. Most of them have left now, but the damage caused by that fire still very much visible. As you take a look, a huge smoke scar on the north side of this building, starting on the 15th floor and climbing all the way up to the roof. Now, this fire broke out just after 10 o'clock this morning in a unit on the 15th floor and quickly began spreading vertically, climbing floor by floor until it had gutted out at least a dozen apartments all the way up to the 25th floor, the top floor. An elderly woman who lives on the 15th floor was killed. 8 other residents were taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation. They're all said to be doing okay right now. Now, this building is called the Harper Square Co-op. It contains a total of 298 units. The majority of the residents were told to shelter in place if their apartments were away from the fire. Firefighters did go through the building and evacuated a number of residents to the 2nd floor, focusing on the elderly and disabled. Fire crews used the building's own water system, tapping the standpipes to fight the fire from inside. But they say they were hampered because the elevator system was shut down, and they say the water pressure was low on the top floors.
So what we encountered here, because the fire went so far from the 15th all the way up to the 24th floor, was the fact that the wind was pushing. The fire went up vertically, and it lapped from floor to floor to floor all the way up to 24, where my firefighters gained control of it. They did an outstanding job because that fire did not go horizontally. It just went up straight vertically, and they did everything they could to put that fire out.
Now, this building does have a history, according to the Chicago Department of Buildings. It failed 5 building inspections in 2022. Among those failures, it failed several tests of the fire alarm voice communication system, although residents tell us that today they did hear that working. Inspectors could not get into all the units to verify occupancy and the use of smoke detectors, and they also say they were ordered to repair and maintain the standpipe system. That's the system that they use to tap into to fight the fire from inside today. The Office of Fire Investigations is on the scene here right now, trying to determine what started this fire. They didn't have that information a little bit earlier today. Now, a lot of people, of course, displaced by this fire. Nate Rogers has been talking to a number of them. I'll throw it to him now. Nate?
Yeah, that's right, Dan. A lot of folks out here trying to figure out their options. Just got off the phone with Alderman Sophia King within the last 20 minutes or so. She told me all of the units here on the east side of this building, at the very least, sustained water damage. That's some 133 families now displaced. For the past few hours, residents have been gathering their belongings, moving to temporary housing, including hotels and relatives' homes. As flames spread rapidly this morning's fire, officials say they immediately received a list of those folks with special needs and were able to prioritize getting them to safety. Again, 298 units inside of this 25-story building. Folks we spoke to describing it as a nerve-wracking and very frightening experience. We spoke to residents that were forced to shelter in place. Others, though they escaped, were still concerned about seniors and their pets inside. Take a listen.
Well, I live by myself. I'm 23 years old, and I take care of my little brothers. My parents both live out of town, so it's just very hard trying to figure out what to do.
For a few hours, we didn't know where my aunt was, but we just found her. She was luckily safe, still inside the building. She was on the 25th floor. I had to go back in there and get my cat.
We are inconvenienced right now. We are moving out because we have smoke in our unit, and I have sinus issues, so I can't bear the smoke.
And since they were able to put this fire out, residents have been meeting on the 2nd floor, receiving assistance from the Red Cross, Salvation Army, and City of Chicago. Still, no exact number on how many families are displaced, other than at least 133 folks. Again, so many people looking to find temporary housing. The fire department also looking into if there's any structural damage as a result. This is the latest here in Kenwood. Nate Rogers, Fox 32, Chicago.